I've spent hours looking for every single tiny change in Season 21, so let's just get straight into it and not mess about. First of all, here are the balance changes we know of. The Digi threat has been completely removed from the season. We're not sure if it's removed from the game, but it's removed from the season right now. The longbow is going to get a purple barrel built into the gun, making it a much more viable weapon just to pick up and play with. The Devo is going into care package, replacing the wingman, and the wingman can no longer take extended magazines. This one's going to be interesting to play with. Crypto is set to get a lot of legend buffs, including a new set of upgrades. Now, I'm not sure in the article if this is referencing the upgrade to the buff, but it says one will include handling for his drone, and he will also be able to see nearby squads on the banner at all times instead of just in his drone. I'm not sure whether in this they're referring to the legend upgrades or the buffs. Newcastle is getting some pretty heavy changes that are going to make him more worth it in the more competitive modes, because now his mobile shield goes down a lot faster. That's not the big part though. Now his castle wall will zap projectiles coming towards it like Watson's pylon can, making it the second trophy system type thing in the game that can stop grenades. This is going to be pretty huge, and it's going to make his castle wall a lot more viable because people can no longer nuke it with grenades. Catalyst, after getting smushed into a pulp by the nerf hammer, is finally getting something that resembles a buff, getting a new legend upgrade based around reinforcing doors. And this new perk is literally going to give Catalyst the ability to regenerate doors, like actual doors. This is going to be a weird one to play with, but oh my god, it's going to be powerful. Here's a pretty huge one that we actually saw back in Season 19 in some of the Season 20 preview footage. Ash can now offhand her tactical, and it's about damn time, because considering the fact that Alter is basically just Ash but better, it's about time that she gets a buff. Also, pretty much every single legend can offhand their tactical, so there's no reason for Ash before this not to be able to. For Fuse, he's going to get a new blue perk which will allow him to scan ring consoles. I think this change is going to be heavily appreciated in the competitive community more than anything. Also, solo mode is seeing a lot of changes to just the general gameplay of the game, because lobby sizes in solos are going to be 50 instead of 60 players, meaning there's 10 less people in the lobby. And also, the circle sizes are going to be changing in this mode. No exact details on that, but those are changing. Also, we have the details that we already know in solos, like there's going to be fully kitted weapons on the floor. You're going to be able to siphon health whenever you kill an enemy, so third partying is going to be a bit harder, which is definitely needed in solos mode because nobody can watch you back. And solos is apparently going to last half the season according to a developer, and with this information we can actually work out when the mid-season collection event is going to be in the season. Solos starts on May the 7th with the season launch and ends on June the 24th. I didn't have to re-record this date, so June the 24th is likely going to be the mid-season update day. We also actually just straight up got a statement about Respawn previously saying they weren't going to add solos back, because I assume it's quite embarrassing to say back in January solos is never coming back and then just release it again. They said, we feel strongly that the core Apex experience revolves around team play, and specifically trios. The return of solos doesn't signify a departure from that core belief, but we wanted to acknowledge the growing interest in solos from our players, and also the team wanted to see what they could do to evolve solos back from when it was released back in Season 2. And if you weren't aware, solos was released in Season 2 and everybody hated it, which is why Respawn were kind of scared to bring it back, and they did say we can't wait to see what everybody thinks. And they did also say that they're going to be watching the response to solos a lot, so if you have any issues with it, do voice your concerns, because it may just get fixed because of you. Also, Eurogamer let us know a few weird things about ranked, because if you play ranked last season, you may be in for some good news. They said you will have some value based on how you performed in the previous season. For example, if you graduated out of rookie, then you'll instantly start the new season as a bronze. So I guess Respawn is going to weight a lot more of the climbing on how you did last season. So if you finished as a pred, you might start a bit higher than others. I'm not particularly sure what this means, but I guess it's just more of Respawn trying to improve ranked, which you can't really hate on. Eurogamer did also state that Catalyst, Bloodhound, Octane, Caustic, Fuse and Ballistic will be subject to minor power boosts at launch, and I'm pretty sure these power boosts are going to be new upgrades, as there are a few reports flying around that Ballistic and Octane are going to be getting new upgrades, and previously in the video we did talk about Catalyst's new upgrade. Also in this same interview Eurogamer did, they did talk about Apex cheating and boosting, and apparently Respawn are very aware, and an exact quote from a Respawn developer is, we recognise cheating, especially boosting, became more common in Season 20, by lowering the access to level 20 and allowing pre-mades in any of the ranks. The team is always working on detection and solutions for cheating, cheating, but we can't share any details as it may give cheaters an unfair advantage. So clearly Respawn recognise why there are so many boosters, because they lowered the level and the bar of entry into higher level rank games. So hopefully they fix it. I mean, it's always going to be vague with cheating because obviously it's an arms race between the cheat developers and the game developers. Also, we haven't got a Battle Pass trailer yet, but Respawn did release a screenshot which just straight up shows the Battle Pass skins. Here is the Seer and the Catalyst. They look pretty solid, although they are very, very alike. Also, the reactive skins of the 30-30 repeater, we have a yellow effect and also a blue effect, and both of these can be seen in the trailer. On top of this as well, thanks to GameSpot, we got some lore on the new season's map update, Broken Moon. And the lore goes as, when Olympus collided with Broken Moon and destroyed Promenade, alien eggs of an unknown species were discovered and the location was closed off, which I assume this closed off location became quarantine zone. And then one of the GameSpot guys did ask, does this mean we're going to get alien fights on Broken Moon, much like the Prowler fights on Stormpoint? And the dev just said, no, this is just to contextualize the map changes in the lore, which is, you know, fair enough. We also got some solid information about Alta, how she can't instantly act once she goes through a wall, and she has a brief moment when you go through a portal where you're still in phase, much like the phase runner off Olympus. So this will give people in the room time to react, and this was also showcased in the gameplay trailer where Vantage got kidnapped and she was looking around still in phase after she exited the portal. In the same interview, we also got some more information about Alta, and especially the fact that she's Chinese, and you do get some Cantonese voice lines during gameplay while you're playing her, and the influence from the culture also went through to one of her legendary skins. Now, I don't think we've seen any of her legendary skins, but if you have, one of them is inspired by Chinese culture, I guess. From the same developers, we also got some lore information about Alta, and that she's apparently on rocky ground with Ash, and she really likes Mad Maggie, and really doesn't like Newcastle and Horizon. The thing about her really not liking Newcastle makes me wonder if she just hates parents, because we know her main rivalry is going to be Horizon, but hating Newcastle as well? Is that because he's like one of the only legends confirmed to have kids? Maybe Alta's like a turbo redditor who really hates kids or something. For more gameplay changes, we did get some confirmation in the solo mode there are going to be notifications when an enemy is near you, and in fact these notifications will show you an approximate distance from the enemy. So it does look like in solos, gameplay mechanics are really going to try to carry the weight of what your teammates should be doing, so spotting enemies, healing you, and things like that. From a bit of Season 21 gameplay, we did notice that in the Void right now, for some reason, enemies are highlighted. I'm not sure if this is going to be a specific perk thing, or it's just going to come to all Void legends, because there are a lot of legends who can go into the Void now. Here's a pretty sizable change as well. According to Destructoid, respawn banner animations are now removed in Season 21, meaning whenever you pick up a banner off someone's death box, you won't do that stupid hand thing, and you might actually be able to make some decent plays, sneaking into an area occupied by enemies and sneaking out without too many issues. It's about time this went, really, because Apex clearly has a different vision to what it had 5 years ago, and the respawn animation just really didn't fit the game. We also got some information from John Lawson about the balancing of Horizon, which is always definitely a scary topic to talk about. He said now they've added a lot of new upgrades to legends like Crypto, Horizon is one of the only legends left on the roster with undercooked and underwhelming upgrades, so she could be seeing some in the future. And I'm pretty sure Respawn are going to be pretty scared about changing Horizon's balancing status, because she has been one of the most controversial legends balancing wise for a hell of a long time. Also, you may notice on YouTube, a lot of creators were allowed early access to Season 21, so we have seen a lot of stuff that wasn't explicitly mentioned by Respawn, especially this from Asapan. Whoa, we're getting another reactive flatline. Yes, Respawn saw how much everyone liked the reactive flatline, so they're adding another one. And I'm pretty sure this one is only going to be available for straight up purchase with the new currency of artifact shards. And those eagle-eyed people in the audience may notice this is the one that got leaked, I think like 1 or 2 years ago. So we've come a long way waiting for this reactive flatline to come out. Also, Asapan did showcase the new Alta upgrades. So we have frequent nexus, 30 seconds off the ult cooldown, or seen through portals where you get enemies pinged when exiting your tactical, which we actually saw once again in that gameplay from a few months ago. And for her second level of upgrades, we have a pretty crazy one, infinite ultimate duration, which is pretty crazy and leads to some potentially crazy plays where you constantly have a beacon that you can teleport to during the game. I wonder how this one's going to play out. And her second level 2 perk is tactical cooldown plus, which takes 10 seconds off her tactical cooldown. In a bit of Asapan's gameplay, we also see this guitar, which is quite beautiful, but once again, don't really want to think of that price tag. And here's a free ultra remote for your enjoyment. And also for your enjoyment, Riku is coming back, but only in the solos mode to make your solos experience a lot faster. Another interesting thing I noticed from the solos gameplay is it also has kill cams, which means this is the first implementation of kill cams in a battle royale mode, as they were only previously in mixtapes. So hopefully this one makes its way into normal trios. It could well this season, although I haven't seen any confirmation of it. And that's pretty much every little detail that I could glean right now. The patch notes are still a few days out, so we won't know the exact balancing changes just yet, but soon we will, so just subscribe.